Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Most senior positions in Scotland
Japan.
are filled almost exclusively by those who are
Japanese.
Take my portfolio alone. The Lord President.
Japanese.
The Lord Justice Clerk.
Japanese.
Every High Court Judge.
Japanese.
The Lord Advocate.
Japanese.
The Solicitor General.
Japanese.
The Chief Constable.
Japanese.
Every Deputy Chief Constable.
Japanese.
Every Assistant Chief Constable.
Japanese.
The Head of the Law Society.
Japanese.
The Head of the Faculty of Advocates.
Japanese.
Every Prison Governor.
Japanese.
And not just Justice. The Chief Medical Officer.
Japanese.
The Chief Nursing Officer.
Japanese.
The Chief Veterinary Officer.
Japanese.
The Chief Social Work Advisor.
Japanese.
Almost every trade union in this country headed by people who are
Japanese.
in
Japanese.
government. Every Director General is
Japanese.
Every chair of every public body is
Japanese.
Well. Good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon, Ben. How are you?
I'm okay. I like your little thing there. It's in response to a tweet I put out earlier, wasn't
Well,
it?
it wasn't in response to your tweet because I actually come up with it completely independently.
Okay.
That's why I sent that message to you saying I was going to do that, and then you fucking tweeted it, which is almost exactly the same thing that I came up with.
And for those that don't know what we're talking about, we'll actually get onto that in a bit. I think we'll save it, shall we?
Yeah. Okay.
We'll save it because we're going to talk about the arsehole anyway. So
yeah,
we might as well save it. I'm just going to bring my mic up a little bit, just make sure it's in range. So, John, talk to me about TikTok then. Talk to me about TikTok. TikToking.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just bring your audio down a little bit because you fucking brought your mic up, so you make yourself louder.
More to make myself clearer because my face is still food.
Shut up. Anyway, TikTok. So, TikTok have been refreshing their policies.
Yes. So
telling
this is not something that's public yet, is it?
No, I don't think it is. Well, I don't think TikTok make a lot of their internal stuff public, but I think what they're doing is they're refreshing what people should be what would you say?
Discouraged.
Discouraged, yes. You should be discouraged from chatting about them, and you should be discouraged from saying that these people may or may not be right.
So
people like Andrew Tate.
I was going to say, for example, you're now not allowed to say, and once again, we don't know if this is public yet, but we do have this on good authority. This is happening within TikTok, and I mean, we can pretty much confirm it. You don't have to take it with a grain of salt, right? We are being told that if you say Andrew Tate is right, you'll be banned.
Well, I'm not saying you'll be banned, but your tweet will be, or your
TikTok will be banned. It'll be taken down.
Yeah, your TikTok will be yeah, it will be.
And under what policy are they going to do that? Because let's face it, we've already had content taken down from TikTok. Just me reading the news was taken down from the TikToks and called a terrorist act, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like anything, they just make up their own mind because there are no proper regulators in this sphere, and it seems to be that because it's a private organisation, although run by the Communist Government of China,
Communist Government China,
you're allowed to do what you like. You can say what you like. Well, if you want to be a publisher, then you are liable to be sued, right?
I think you're absolutely right.
If you are expressing editorial, if you're making editorial decisions, then you are not a platform, you are a publisher.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
That's where I think these things are completely wrong, and people need to start taking them to court.
What we have to wonder, though, is this policy, because, like I say, we have it on good authority. You don't have to take this with a grain of salt. This is happening, right? But is it UK specific or is it companies specific? We don't know, but we know that it's definitely happening at TikTok UK.
I would imagine it. Goes TikTok in the West will have the same policy.
Is Tate on the list? Because I actually want to say something about him.
No, he's not on the list.
Right. So while we're on the subject of Tate, I have to, and I think there's going to be a couple of rejigging of our positions on a couple of issues today. But I have to kind of rejig my position on Tate because I think he's innocent.
So you've come round to my side of the coin then.
No, I'll tell you why I think he's innocent. Now let me just preface this with saying, do I think Tate's not an arsehole? No, he's an absolute arsehole. Right?
Oh, you don't need to preface it with anything. We know Tate's an arsehole, right? But he's an innocent arsehole, in my view.
Have you seen the leaks? Have you seen the WhatsApp messages between two of his so-called victims saying they're going to make it up?
Yeah. It's another it's another Swedish rape case against Julian Assange. It's exactly the same thing. It's like the girl the girl that he fired. I mean he's on talking about her, the British girl that he fired, and or I think she was British, and her nose was out of joint because she wanted £1,000, but she'd thrown up all over his carpet. So he said, "No, you're not getting it." And she made allegations, and he got arrested at that point for that one. That was a different one.
But I will say this: someone who makes false allegations like these girls clearly have and have clearly said they're going to on these WhatsApp messages, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have fled the country. They're not in the country anymore, where Andrew Tate is. One of them, I believe, is here in London, and one of them, I don't know where he is. But why are they free and he in custody?
Because they fled the country.
Yeah, but still, when this sort of evidence comes out, right? How can they still justify his detention unless they've got something else on him, maybe? But still, I believe no actual charges have been filed at this point.
Well, they don't need to see. This is a problem with their justice system. They don't need to justify his detention.
Well, they do for 30-day stretches to the judge, right?
Yeah,
so
but
every 30 days.
Yeah, so they just say,
justify it.
Well, yeah, but what's justification? Is it a question of the prosecutor going, "We need more time"?
Perhaps.
Yeah, honestly, it could be as simple as that. We need more time to gather more evidence. Can you keep him for another 30 days?
Well, I think when it comes to, let me be very specific here. When it comes to the case of these two women, I think he's innocent. I think he's innocent. I think that they have done what they have done to get fame and fortune and glory.
Yeah. Look, what he's doing is he's running a webcam business, right?
Yes.
I'm neither condemning it or calling it out as a good thing, right? It's a business. He's chosen to go down that route. It's morally questionable, perhaps. It depends where you sit, you know.
And he's probably ripping off the girls in one way or another.
Well, yeah, but who doesn't get ripped off? I mean, the guy working the cashier in Tesco's is getting ripped off.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, so who doesn't get ripped off, right? So you go into these things with your eyes open, okay? They're selling their sex, basically, you know, for money. They're trading their time and sex, their looks, for money, right? Whether they're getting ripped off or not isn't our decision. It's up to them whether they want to get ripped off or not. And the same thing goes every time you take a job, because you trade your time and your ability and your skill set for money. If you take a job, that's what you do.
That's why nobody will ever be my boss.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. That's why the only person that will be my boss is me. I'll go into partnership with somebody. Hi, John. But I would only go into equal partnership with somebody. I would not let somebody become my boss and dictate what I do. Right?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not in a physical condition to work a 9 to 5, as you'll know, as many people will know. But second of all, I just don't have it mentally to be told what to do, you know, for pittance. So if somebody wants to, and I know that sounds stuck up, and it does sound stuck up, but at the end of the day,
I don't think it sounds stuck up. I think it sounds admirable that you don't want to be told what to do.
I value my time more than what the cashier job at Tesco's would pay.
And if you value our time, then perhaps you could consider dropping us a little donation occasionally on patreon.com/Chasing Dissent or ko-fi.com/Chasing Dissent.
Well, hopefully when I'm fully back to health and my face isn't fucking hurting like a bitch, excuse my language, we'll be able to I'll start producing a bit more content and maybe even some exclusive content.
Yeah, I didn't get any filming done over the weekend.
It's fine.
But I have done a power of research, so there will be stuff coming out of this side of the studio shortly.
I will say this. Is Harry on the list? Is Harry and Meghan on the list?
No, not...
So quickly
yeah, go on. Talk about them if you want.
Quickly before you
South
introduce
Park.
the show. Yeah.
Go on.
I think we're going to have to take that picture of the book. Wah, and put it on the intro. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, no book. Wah. I watched the episode last night in full. It's absolute genius. It is absolute genius because you keep seeing all these rumblings that Harry and Meghan are going to sue. They can't sue them. For one, it's parody, and for two, they never name them.
The whole thing pisses me off because, as you know, Henry was meant to come down at the weekend and do a bit of filming here, right?
Yeah.
And he phones up and goes, "I can't." I goes, "What do you mean you can't?" I said, "You're a cat." No, I didn't say that. But I said, "What do you mean you can't?" And he goes, "I can't. I'm too busy. I'm trying to phone the producers of South Park and I'm trying to get them to recall the episode." I goes, "You're on to plums, mate. It's never going to happen." I says, "Who's giving you grief?" And he goes, "Well, you know who's giving me grief." And I'm like, "You better get your ass down here as soon as possible and get some proper filming done. People are asking for you, Henry." People have donated money for you, Henry. You better get your finger out, Henry.
If you don't show up, Henry, I'm gonna force Trey and Matt to make more episodes. Put it that way.
Yeah, we'll do
I'll
that.
talk to him.
And we'll mock your missus even more. Right, anyway.
With that, John, introduce our little 200th edition.
200 episodes of Chasing Dissent Live with me, John and Ben. We're coming to you from an undisclosed location in the west coast of a country that used to be ruled by the tyrannical Sturgeon and is now in the throes of God knows what. And from Ben, the wounded soldier currently on the south coast, that has been legaled by an army, a veritable army of economic migrants on a daily basis. It's welcome, episode 200 of Chasing Dissent Live.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave.
And there you go. Right, calm down. It stopped. Good grief, man.
Yes, indeed. 200 Militant Mushroom. 200 episodes of this particular show.
Yeah.
Right, we still do the other stuff as well, and we do the off-stream stuff, right? And we only need 5 more of you wonderful people to get us to 800 subscribers. So get us there. That would be wonderful.
It would be good.
I mean, we look at our analytics every week. We and everything trends upwards every week. We are going in the right direction, and we only have all of you to thank for that. So thank you, honestly, for keeping us going, and we will keep you going with entertaining news. John, start us off.
Sir David Kirkwood, Reform UK Scotland, tweets. Well, he's retweeting a Wings Over Scotland tweet, which is, I've been in all the toughest jobs and made an arse of them all. And you know what? Wings Over Scotland is 100% correct. He has been in all the toughest jobs, and he has made an arse of them all. The man is, he's just incorrigible, isn't he? I mean, I don't even know why he thinks that anyone would want him. I don't know what's going to happen though, because it's the SNP who makes up the.
I'm gonna
it's not
make
the public. It's the SNP that will decide.
I'm gonna make a statement, and I invite Himza to sue me like he sued the nursery.
Come ahead.
Right. This is my personal opinion, right? If the SNP elect Himza Yousaf as their leader and the First Minister of Scotland, they have selected a racist.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, what was that diatribe on about, you know, when because I mean, the original one is he just calls out everybody for being white. Now, Scotland, 96% of the people in Scotland are white. Therefore, it would beg a belief that, you know, the majority of people in senior posts weren't white.
But at one point, 100% of Scotland was white, right?
Oh yeah, more or less.
So let's take the idea of it being a Christian country out, because I've seen people saying it's a white Christian. Let's take that out of the way, right? Let's just look at the fact that he was talking about the racial makeup of people in jobs. He was looking at nothing but their skin color, and he was denigrating them for it, right?
Yeah.
Now, I put out a tweet, and you put out a little pre-roll when you were context for the pre-roll. I said, "What if you were in Japan?" And a white politician stood up in Japan. There isn't a white politician, I believe, in Japan. But if there were, a white politician stood up in Japan and just denigrated the fact that people in high positions were Japanese. It wouldn't happen, would it, John?
No, it wouldn't. Japan is not a diverse culture.
No, it's not. But then let's look at
you know what? Scotland isn't a diverse culture either. But everybody's trying to make it so, and you know, you bring in more and more refugees, you bring in more and more economic migrants, and you dilute the culture of the country. And you know, well, all you need to do is look at London.
Yeah, I'm going to say it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It seems to be not just okay, but fashionable to be racist towards white people. And I've had fellow white people who I used to consider good friends, actually, on social media tell me you can't be racist to white people. My question to them is, why do you hate yourself so much, first of all? Because yes, you can. You can be racist. Anybody can. Oh, bloody hell, just pulled me earphones. Anybody can be racist to anybody. It is a discrimination based upon one's skin color. Now, you'll hear these diatribes, these garbage excuses saying, yeah, but white people have institutional power and racism can only happen to people who don't have institutional power. Well, I don't have any institutional power.
No.
Do you, John?
No, I don't think I've got any institutional power either.
No, you can be racist to white people. Black people can be racist to white people. Chinese people can be racist to black people. In fact, they are quite a lot of the time.
Chinese people are racist to everyone who's not Chinese. In fact, Chinese people are racist against Chinese people.
It's ridiculous, this whole theme that you can't be racist towards white people. Yes, you can. You can always be racist towards anybody, and it seems to have become okay and fashionable to hate on people because of the color of their skin. Now, I remember I'm paraphrasing here, I'm not direct quoting, but I remember Martin Luther King Jr. having a dream about people being based upon the content of their character and not the color of their skin.
Yeah, that was just a dream. Forget that.
White man and black men the table of brotherhood, right?
It's a dream. It's a dream. It's never going to come to pass. I mean, we're talking segregation now, aren't we? They're actually instituting segregation.
Well,
safe spaces for black people.
They call it a safe space.
Yeah.
But what it is basically is exactly what the far right want, right? It's racial segregation.
It's apartheid. That's what it is. I mean, hey, you want to go for it? Go for it.
I'm not down for it. I'm not down for it. I've never ever looked at anybody and thought, I don't like you because of your skin color, right? In fact, I was brought up to not care about the color of somebody's skin. I was brought up to care along the lines of Martin Luther King about the content of their character. And I believe if Martin Luther King were looking at these so-called racial activists today who do nothing but focus on skin color and want segregation, he'd be turning in his goddamn grave. I'm just saying.
Of course he would. Of course he would. Right, moving on. This is actually quite good. Himza is a post-tortoise.
What?
A post-tortoise. That's what Himza is. So you're walking down a country lane, you come across a fence post with a tortoise bounced on top. That's a post-tortoise, right? Because you know he didn't get up there by himself, right?
Right.
He doesn't belong up there, right? He hasn't got a clue what to do when he is up there. And he's been elevated above his ability to function.
Sounds good. Sounds about right.
You just have to wonder what idiot put him there in the first place.
Well, it certainly wasn't me.
No, we all know who it was. And she's been in so many other posts. Now, what I'd like to go into a little section here, and we're going to talk about disinformation again. You know.
Okay, is this these Tesco tweets? Is it?
This is the start of this little section.
Because I can actually prove this wrong because I've just been in Tesco.
Yeah, well, that doesn't matter whether you can prove it wrong or not. The point of this tweet in particular, right, is that that's the same picture that was used in 2020.
So it is.
In 2021, they're bringing up the same pictures and recycling them.
I mean, look, there's social distancing stickers on the goddamn floor.
Yeah, I know. The whole thing is, this is what I don't like about, and we keep banging on about this. It doesn't matter, and I hate to use the word side, right? But it doesn't matter who does it, whether you're left, right, in the middle, or whatever. If you try and make your point disingenuously, then it's not a point worth making, because I've not seen any egg shortages. I've not seen any toilet roll shortages. Apart from at the very, very start, there was a bit of a shortage of toilet roll, right?
Yesterday in Asda, I couldn't get any eggs. There were no eggs.
Right, okay. it's just crazy. But I've seen empty shelves at all sorts of different times. Not just now. I mean, I've seen them. Sometimes you go in and there's no potatoes. And you think, my God, there's a potato shortage. No, you don't think there's a potato shortage. You think, oh, well, they've sold out of potatoes. I'll come back tomorrow.
They haven't had a delivery yet.
Yeah, or I'll come back tomorrow. And you go back tomorrow and there's potatoes, you know?
I will say my Tesco's was abundant in produce today. Everything was full. It was overflowing. They'd obviously had a delivery this morning. It was fine. And I went in, what time? About 1 o'clock? I went off to Tesco this afternoon. Absolutely fine. Now, I saw these tweets this morning saying Tesco's produce departments are all empty. And the reality of what I just saw is not that. Now, I could have just been getting lucky, I guess. But at the same time, I can only report on what I saw. Like I said, yesterday in Asda, there were no eggs. None. Zero.
Well, I was in Morrison's yesterday. And every shelf was full.
Okay.
Every shelf of everything.
I just want to go to the chat quickly. Because Natasha says it's fear porn. And I agree.
It is fear porn. And what I want to say is Michael M needs to do more diligence if he's going to post pictures, right? Because it's not hard to check them, especially when they've got things like, as you said, social distancing
stickers on the floor.
Right? And Neil, I've got to give credit to for calling it out because, yeah, I mean, it's a picture that's over a year old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, and you've got to call it out when you see it because there are, unfortunately for us, confirmation bias exists, and we're all guilty of it. We've all been guilty of it, and we've had to try and sort of, I guess, bang it out of ourselves, haven't we? I mean, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We don't just sit here and do these shows. We spoke about this before. So much preparation goes into them, and sometimes we'll be talking about something, and we'll actually argue. We'll actually argue about it behind the scenes.
Well, because they've seen us argue on camera, so I think they probably much get the idea that we don't always agree on everything.
No, we don't. And do you know what? For both of us, oftentimes, and it's not actually as often, anywhere near as often as it used to be, but oftentimes we'll start talking about something, and then the other one will pull us up and say, "Look, have you done your due diligence? Do you know what you're talking about? Is it real?" And we'll have to concede sometimes. No, we haven't, because our confirmation bias has kicked in.
Yep.
And this happens for everybody. And unfortunately, there are people far more susceptible to it than others. And they're on social media right now. They're on Twitter right now. They see someone that they quote unquote trust because they're on quote unquote their side, say something that would be absolutely BS, bullshit. And yet, because they've seen it from this person on this platform, it's their confirmation, and then they spread it, and then the lie travels halfway around the world before the truth can get out of bed in the morning.
Exactly. And here we go. Here's one here. Charlie P. Right? Wow, what a coincidence. Turkey earthquake. List of countries that pulled their ambassadors out of Turkey 24 hours before the earthquake. Canada, USA, Britain, Germany, Belgium, Italy, Holland, France. Nothing suspicious here. It didn't quite happen like that, did it, Charlie P?
Do tell.
Well, yes, those ambassadors did leave Turkey because Erdogan threw them out. Because he declared them all undesirable because they'd all made representation to the Turkish government in support of, I've forgotten his name, in support of a prisoner, right? So Erdogan says, beat it, get out of my country. Nothing to do with, they weren't recalled, they were told to get out. Now that's confirmation. I mean, that's just a made up story then. So if you've retweeted that, then you've not done your due diligence, right? And if you made that story up, then you've completely trying to pull the wool over someone's eyes for what? For your own personal agenda? Or for the Western agenda? Or for what? Are you trying to say that, that this was an engineered event and this is part of the proof because it doesn't stack up?
Look, you see the cloud behind it?
Yeah, cloud? I know. I've seen the clouds from a year ago as well. Yes,
I know that, and I know that, but they're trying to say that this is proof that it was HARP that caused that earthquake.
Yeah, it was none.
And I don't see it.
No.
I'm sorry, but you can't just say here's a cloud. That was a weather engineer thing. You need to give me some kind of tangible proof
If you are
before
going,
I'm going to believe you.
if you are going to make an extraordinary claim, you need extraordinary evidence, and
Absolutely,
I'm not seeing
you do.
it.
I'm sorry, but you're coming up against people who really can't be bullshitted to at this point, right? And that's why I hope people watch us, right? You don't agree. A lot of you won't agree with everything we say, and we don't even agree sometimes with what each other says. As Vaughan says in the chat, what did he just say? He said, "You two argue never. Ben's a lefty, and John's only a touch right of Genghis Khan." Right?
Well, I think it makes a good balance. I mean, we're
I
actually quite
do.
close. If you look at James Melville's horseshoe.
That he stole from you, yeah?
Yeah, well, okay, well, we'll just gloss over that. But
Yeah.
if you look at his horseshoe theory, then Ben and I are actually quite close. Anyway, right, so moving on to the next one, okay?
Yeah.
Captain America, okay. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. His implication is that this is chemtrails gone wrong, getting discharged on the ground, right? I mean, you can see that's what the implication is. No, that's an APU fire, right? So see, a lot of these planes have got what's called an auxiliary power unit in the tail, right? And basically, it's a small jet engine that sits in the tail and gives them auxiliary power, so that they can keep the plane going if they get flameouts or whatever on their bike engines. That's on fire. That's a bad thing. But it's not chemtrails. And hey, you know what? I'm not against... well, it's not that I'm not against people saying that chemtrails exist, because you've seen the planes. And you've seen the actual admission by government that they do indulge in weather modification. So they do spray stuff into the sky. It maybe doesn't happen as often as you think, but they do it. But, they definitely do it.
I'm looking at this picture, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that the US government, for example, is going to be spraying you from a Japan Airlines Boeing 747.
Well, who said it would be? I mean, it doesn't matter what government's doing it either. I mean,
True.
they're all the same.
Oh God! Don't drink directly from the cup. Don't drink directly from the cup. Fuck. That hurt.
So there we go.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, John pushed the chemtrails button.
Oh God, the chemtrails button. But the chemtrails, I'm going to have to move the chemtrails buttons forward, haven't I?
Oh, he's not got the. He wants to talk about chemtrails, and he never queued up the chemtrails button.
Well, I thought
Oh dear. See, this is why you just. There we go. There we go. That's it. That's the chemtrails button.
That was the chemtrails button.
Yeah, it was indeed. Let's move on. Let's move on. Trailer Swift, who you are courting at the moment. I've no idea who this person is, but
I am not courting him.
you are courting him to replace me, aren't you?
Well, he may well replace you on the 10th of March. I was gonna. I mean, you've blown it now, because I was going to advertise it as Taylor Swift and then say, "Oh, sorry, I made a mistake in the advert. It's actually Trailer Swift."
A top climate scientist is warning that climate change will wipe out all of humanity unless we stop fossil fuels over the next 5 years.
Yeah, that was Greta. She made that tweet 5 years ago. 5 years ago. That's another one that's come true, isn't it? Yep. They're good, this bunch.
Every prediction that they make, every single one of them, without fail, is wrong. It's false. It's not true. It never comes to pass. And this has been the same for decades. And yet people are legislating based upon the BS that these people are saying. They are more wrong. They've got a worse track record than Neil Ferguson.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. It's completely wrong. Right. Now this one, this is an update on. Remember, we had Peter Sweden's tweet on the other day about the Australian woman that was denied a heart transplant. So this is End Wokeness has given us an update here. So death panels are here, and death panels do exist, right? You should know that. And hospitals do make decisions based on what it's going to cost them, and you know, the perceived value to the patient and their family and whatever. But
yeah, I mean, that's why you have an X number within the NHS, because your X number is assigned a value.
Yeah, but looking at that woman, one, she didn't look old, and two, I think she was a mother, and therefore I can't see any reason why she would be excluded other than what this chap Nathan Anderson MD has said. And if this is correct, then this is evil.
But he says, "Hey Peter, I'm actually a cardiologist and chairman of my hospital ethics committee. This isn't evil. It's actually wise utilization of a scarce resource."
No, I think it's evil.
I would say this, and this will be my response. You know, we have to be careful when we're talking about this certain subject still, for some reason, despite the fact, you know, the Veritas stuff has happened and all of that. But still, we have to be careful. And I will say this. First of all, do we know that this person is who he says he is?
Well, no, that's the thing. We don't do that, and that I did say that at the very start. But if that is the case,
he should not be working in a capacity
He shouldn't. It is evil.
No, he should not be working in that capacity, as far as I'm concerned. Let's play the devil's advocate. Let's say this is 100% above board. Nathan Anderson here is who he says he is, and he's done what he said he's done. He needs to stop, right? Mm-hmm. They need to be stopped. People like this need to be stopped.
Yeah, they do.
They don't care about you. They're not. Their ethics, so to speak. Come on now. It's ethical to say somebody who hasn't had a certain treatment that they probably don't even need is going to be subjected to death.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's out of order. It really is.
I mean, we've seen the studies that have come out recently, and once again, I'm going to be careful. But the studies now coming out in the mainstream media saying that certain things and certain natural things are just as good as other things.
Yeah, okay. Moving on. Aldo here, and I think this is one of 3 tweets that Aldo's got for us today. So he brings this up from the New York Post. UFO shot down by the £400,000 US missile may have been a $12 hobby balloon. Do you know how much it cost them to shoot that missile down? That balloon down?
Grand.
What?
Probably more than 400 grand.
Oh, yeah. If you work it out, you've got the cost of fuel for the jet fighter. You've got the flying time for the jet fighter, right? You've got... Oh, fucking hell. Can you hear the Hoover?
I can hear the Hoover, yeah.
Fuck's sake. I think she does it deliberately.
What you should do is, John, do you have one of these?
No, I don't.
Damn it.
I've only got a small one.
Right, John, put me big screen and go sort this out.
How bad is it?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Right,
honestly.
okay. So you can work it out, but when you work it out, it works out to like, it costs them more than $2 million to shoot that balloon down with an F-22, the most expensive airplane known to man. And the only reason they actually managed to shoot it down is because it was low. It was down at 60,000 feet, which is just within the operating ceiling of the F-22 and the missile.
Good job, Biden. Do you know where Biden is right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Is it on the list?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there has been a surprise touchdown this morning in Kiev.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden is there. He's there.
Uncle Joe is visiting Uncle Voldemort.
Vlad.
Uncle Voldemort.
He's schmoozing with Vladimir.
Did you see him walking?
He's gone to... No.
Did you see Biden walking?
No,
he walks like a Boston Dynamics robot.
Does he walk like he's just had an audience with the Pope?
No. He walks with completely flat feet. His foot goes down completely flat, right? So he walks like a robot. He looks like a Boston Dynamics robot, except not quite as agile.
Maybe he is one.
He could well be. I'm thinking that might be the case. But yeah, so they're over. Ukraine's going down the tubes. It really is. I mean, the narrative can't hold up much longer because, I mean, I was doing some more research last night, and bloody hell, they're still at it. You know, they're still saying that you know, Ukraine's winning, and you know the Russians have taken an incredible amount of loss, and you know the Russians have been embarrassed by the fact that they haven't been able to take over this country in such a long time, and it's not quite like that. And in fact, I'll explain in detail on another video.
He will. Anyway, sick note crackdown to get more people back into work. John, what do you think of this?
Well, allegedly, right? And that's from Aldo, right? So allegedly, from the Telegraph, doctors have been told to sign fewer patients off. Now, one, how would the doctor know when you can or you are or are not fit for work if they refuse to see you in the first place?
Good question.
Secondly, you're either fit for work or you're not fit for work, right?
Yep.
If it's a value judgment on the doctor, why are you trying to influence a medical decision as a politician?
Because you've got to understand. The government is mummy. The government is daddy. The government is your uncle. The government wants you to bend to their will. Nothing more. What's the two aims of government, John?
Control the population, feather their own nest.
Ah, yeah, that's exactly right. And that's exactly this. Controlling the population and the feathering of one's nest. It is feathering their nest by tightening the public purse. Remember, they've just given themselves a nice pay increase, because of course they have.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, so there's definitely going to be more money to pay for their lovely pay increase. But secondly, they're controlling you because they're telling you whether or not you're too sick to go to work.
Yeah.
It's now becoming the government's decision, not your body,
Government,
not your doctor.
Government is not your friend.
Nope, it is not. Lee Hurst says, I fucking hate this little prick Sunak.
I just had to slip this one in because, you know what? It's short, it's concise, it's to the point, and there's nothing there that I can disagree with.
Correct, let's move on.
Right, great mates tweets here. All of us, you know where this is going, right? You know where this is going to go, don't you?
We have to be very careful about this.
Well, unregulated vitamins and health foods are responsible for thousands of excess deaths since February 2021, says News Hub. So you know where this is going to go, don't you? You know what's going to be regulated next, and you know what you won't be able to get.
Still. You know what it is!
So
didn't need to use my mouth for that one.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen, people. You just know what's going to happen.
Well, it's like earlier on, I was speaking to John because I wanted to get a certain mouthwash you used to be able to get on the shelf. But that certain mouthwash has now been regulated out of existence, isn't it, John?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it would have helped me, by the way. It would have meant I was in less pain. But you know, just gotta grin and bear it, I guess. Because government is my mummy, government is my daddy.
No.
Breaking report.
From Chuck, and everything that Chuck does is breaking, right? Okay.
Yeah, always. And then underneath, he's always selling the pillows.
Yeah.
He's always selling the pillows.
Oh, he's always selling the pillows. But he does preface this one with rumours. Rumours are now swirling that House Speaker Kevin McCarthy will not release all of the January 6th footage as promised when elected Speaker. Do you think a politician may go back on his word? Surely not.
Yes.
Yes, moving on.
Natasha asks, have you got dry socket? Yes. Yes, I do, but I've got some weird dressing that's been plunged into it. I've been to the dentist 3 times in the last week.
Yeah, time out. People don't want to hear about this. It's going to make them.
I'm in a lot of pain. I'm in a lot of pain.
Some people could be having their lunch. Good God, man. So JP's cartoons comes up with, well, China are now apparently going to sell arms to Russia and therefore will be backing them in Ukraine. Okay, I'm not an appeaser, but why can't people see this is going to end really badly unless somebody somewhere tries to find a peaceful solution? Upping the ante is not working.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There is nothing, again, there's nothing here that I can disagree with.
Nothing at all.
The problem you've got here is that by feeding Ukraine with dribs and drabs of weapons, all you're doing is extending the agony, because Russia will not lose this. Russia cannot lose this. from a Russian perspective.
I
Right?
mean, just from a manpower perspective, Russia's never gonna lose this. They've got more people, they've got more vehicles, they've got more planes, they've got probably better strategy, they've got better weapons, they've got weapons that. Oh shit! Sorry, you continue for a sec.
Well, and then when you look at the UK and America and all that, and they go, well, we'll send them tanks, and America goes, we'll send them 31 tanks, and then you find out it's going to take them 12 months to get the tanks, and you think, why is it going to take them 12 months to get the tanks? Do you know why it's going to take them 12 months to get the tanks?
Why?
Because you're going to have to build the tanks, especially for Ukraine. Because they can't give them old tanks that they've got, and they can't give them they can't give them any of the tanks they've got in service because they don't want the chance of their tanks falling into Russian hands.
You're absolutely right.
So they've got to custom build the tanks and degrade the technology, and it's the same with Germany and everybody else. And in fact, remember France when they gave them the armored wheeled tank, right? They gave them the old ones from 1980 something because they were buying brand new ones from Belgium.
So let's move on, right? Let's move on because I have a question when it comes to this next one.
Okay.
I have a question. Is this Daniel Andrews repenting?
No, I don't think so. He just said he was going to build a dedicated Victorian heart hospital, and they built one. Now, I've been to Australia, right?
I haven't. I guess I'd like to go.
I've been to Australia, right? And the people there, I got the impression, certainly when I was there, it was the late 80s.
Yeah.
No, was it? No, it was 2000s. It was the early 2000s, right?
I mean, have you got dementia or something? Because that's one hell of a time jump.
Possibly, yeah. There's a lot of things happened in my life, It does go back quite far. Anyway, so I was there just early 2000s, and yeah, Australia probably has one of the healthiest populations I've ever seen. Everybody was out exercising, running about, out in the sun, having a great time, get up in the morning, go surfing, go to their work, come back in the evening, eat healthily, have a few beers, yeah. But everybody was healthy, everybody was out running, everybody was exercising. It's a really sport-orientated culture. Not the kind of place where they have a high incidence of heart disease. So how do they suddenly end up needing a dedicated heart hospital?
I'll tell you why, John. Basically, actions that I took as Premier, I won't say what those actions were, but I will say this. The actions that I took as Premier have led to people having far more heart conditions than they had before. So basically, I am kind of repenting. In a way,
kinda, yeah.
I'm trying to fix the problems that I have definitely helped create, but other than that, yeah, I don't know, John.
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on.
So, Rishi Sunak is here in Germany for the Munich Security Conference. Now, there's quite a few people out there, like Camel Toe Harris is out there. Did you see she couldn't get Air Force 2?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, she wasn't allowed to use Air Force 2. She had to go on a Galaxy C-17, which is basically a cargo plane.
Nice.
So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Kamala really slipped that far down that she's not allowed to use Air Force 2.
Maybe it was being overhauled or something. Let's give it the benefit of the doubt.
This is the United States of America. They get more than one plane called Air Force 2.
They got more than one plane called Air Force One, and in fact, every plane that the president steps on is designated Air Force One.
Oh yeah, exactly. So sounds a bit dodgy. Sounds a bit weird.
Wouldn't that technically mean that the plane that she stepped on would have been designated Air Force 2?
It probably would have been, yeah. But it wasn't a regular aircraft. It was a C-17 Stratolifter or whatever it's called. Right. So this Ron the Rat here has he said that he's going to be the first to give Ukraine long-range missiles.
Why?
Well, so as they can strike at Russia, I guess. Well, why else would you give Ukraine long-range missiles? Unless they want to strike at us.
I mean, that's not even what the why is about. The why is why are we so desperate to be the first?
Because
what is wrong with these people?
We are not a superpower, right? And ever since the days of empire, we still think we are. We still think we have a position on the world stage. We still think we're important, or the people that are running the country do. They still think that they are entitled to meddle in other people's affairs. They still think that people listen to them and look up to them. When really, you know, we're a third-rate country now.
Yeah, I'd say
We really
say
are. I mean,
I'd say you're right.
you know that NATO has delayed the British leadership of the Rapid Reaction Force.
I did not know that. No.
So the Rapid Reaction Force was due to be taken over by the UK, and it's been left with Germany for an extra year because they don't think the UK army is up to it. I keep biting my lip.
Do you know what? We're halfway through the show at this point, so if you've stuck with us, thank you very much. I do notice there are more people watching than there are likes, and with the position and the pain that I'm in right now, the boys are definitely getting sent. John, send the boys. Send the boys. Just don't even give them a chance. Send the boys.
Just send the boys, okay.
Send the boys.
Right, Vaughn, fire up the tranny.
Yep. Fire it up. Right, send the boys.
Right. And now we move on to a tweet here from James Melville. Now, I'm not 100% sure how new this information is, right?
Right.
But, well, it's certainly an update because I knew that the Guardian did have some funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Mm-hmm. But they're obviously still at it. They're still getting it. So, I mean, they have admitted that they received funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Current level of grant funding received from the Gates Foundation amounts to approximately $3 million.
If anybody wants to donate us $3 million,
that's a lot of money.
I mean, we won't be editorially good to you, but if you do want to donate us $3 million, right?
Well, we won't be as editorially corrupt as the Guardian.
Well, you got to think that it's not just the Guardian that does this, right? You see CNN sponsored by Pfizer.
Yeah.
Do you think that these people that are being paid millions and millions and millions of dollars by these pharmaceutical companies are then going to go and trash these pharmaceutical companies or indeed these foundations? Of course they're not.
It's called biting the hand that feeds you.
I mean, if these foundations, in fact, even if the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation wants to give us $3 million, we'll still call you a bunch of arseholes, right? We'll take your $3 million, but we will call you a bunch of arseholes.
Or we might just say ball-bag.
Or ball-bag, yeah. But
right, let's move on.
I don't know if this is real.
That's hilarious.
I don't know if it is real. I'm just prefacing this with that.
Okay.
Because it's in English.
Yeah, it's in English.
Which doesn't make any sense for it being German.
Why?
Just carry on anyway. Tell us what it is.
But how many leaflets and things do we have printed that aren't in English in this country?
Natasha says most German men are gay. I don't think that's true. According to that advert,
he's not actually well, right. So I actually, even without going into this in great detail, I think I did really well because I didn't automatically assume that the coloured gentleman was the migrant.
What? Is he wearing socks or does he have a white foot?
That's exactly what I said. Why has he got a white foot?
But yeah, according to this advert, and once again, we can't actually confirm whether or not it's real, but it is quite funny. Yeah. It says, if you're a new immigrant to Germany and wish to have gay sex with a German man, just not a German gay man, just a German man, check out the German government's helpful website for instructions. Most German men will be happy to have gay sex with immigrants, but it's important to ask first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, have you seen all this stuff on Twitter about immigrants having having a hand job in front of people all over the place? What's going on there?
Honestly, I don't know. I just want to address the chat quickly because I've just Beach Crate says Ben knows because he is gay.
Is this an aspersion because you have long hair and possibly a 1960s style German porn star moustache?
He loves that baby.
Thank you, darling.
Where is mine? Where is mine?
Well, you've got your own wife.
She's out doing the school run.
That's not my problem.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, it probably is an aspersion because of the fact that I have long hair and all of that. I have a wife. I have children. Right?
But they could be precautionary.
They could be a beard. Yeah, they could be a beard. You never know. But they're not.
Well, it's like Nicola Sturgeon's got a husband.
Yeah. Yeah, I will always say, as you say, John, don't knock it till you've tried it, of course, but I'm not in the mood at this stage in my life to try it, shall we say?
Yeah, okay.
But I'm comfortable enough within my own sexuality to say never say never.
We're not quite in the funnies yet, but we are in kind of territory that's starting to get a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if we look at this tweet, Tesla owners of Silicon Valley say, if zombies come, what are you driving? Right? I got the Cybertruck for what? I know. I got the Cybertruck for sure, alien technology, right? And Elon Musk replies going, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute. If we've got zombies, it's very unlikely we're going to have any kind of infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, where are you going to recharge that thing? Because you'll be waiting a fucking long time with solar panels. An awfully long time. Enough time for thousands and thousands of zombies to gather round.
I've got me this Cybertruck, but really what it is an oversized paperweight.
Yeah. So one, where are you going to charge it? Mm-hmm. My personal mode of transport in the zombie apocalypse would be a more restricted form of horsepower. In fact, I'd go as far as to say 1 horsepower would probably be the better bet.
I can do you one better, John.
What?
A dirigible.
Well, maybe a dirigible, but a dirigible, and I would favour a horse for ground transport.
Yeah, I would just basically live on a dirigible. That'd be me.
Hold on. Well, where are you going to get stuff to eat?
That doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. So you're just going to go on a massive fast, wait for the zombies to all die off.
What I'll do, right, John? Bow and arrow, birds, dirigible.
All you did is a DMR, and that's you. You could just pop them off from your dirigible.
There you go. All sorted. Oh, so that's it. I'm surviving. You fuckers might not be, but I'm surviving. Get on me dirigible, fly away. And in fact, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I might open a GoFundMe soon to fund the dirigible. I think we should have a Chasing Dissent dirigible.
Yeah, why not? So going back to Germany, Craig Campbell here tweets, because he didn't, right? German police are unable to prove that Christian Bruckner snatched Madeleine McCann. Miller can reveal that a friend claims prosecutors have admitted they are struggling to get enough evidence against. Right. So yeah, well, we know this. We do know that they are struggling.
They spent years, resources, British taxpayers' money investigating this guy, right?
Yeah. And because there's no evidence.
No, because as far as I'm concerned, he didn't do it. As far as I'm concerned,
and we have to stress this is just opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just opinion, but as far as we're concerned, I think the weight of evidence that's been presented tends to show a particular course of events, and it doesn't involve a German.
It doesn't involve anyone other than McCann, unfortunately. Well, maybe they're accomplices, maybe they're friends.
Yeah,
but I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think that this man took Madeleine McCann.
No, I think they're just looking for a scapegoat, or they're looking for somebody to close the case.
Well, I'm thinking that maybe this Instagram girl could be the best get out of jail free card they could ever have.
It's never going to fly.
It's never going to fly. But
that thing in Madeleine McCann's eye was not a freckle, and it wouldn't fade over time.
Yeah, I got an email earlier purporting to be from YouTube, right? And I'm just going to quickly read it out to you because I put it out on Twitter. But this is the type of English that girl that claimed to be Madeleine McCann used, right? So this claims to have been from YouTube, right? It says, "Dear Partener."
Partenaires.
Right? Recently, we invited you to share your YouTube purchase and delivery experience to help us provide high-quality service to partners like you. Have you recently received an order from YouTube that was delivered to you or someone in your household/business? Complete this short survey about your experience and you get a $90 promo award. This survey will just take about 5 minutes to complete and will expire in 24 hours. We look forward to hearing from you, YouTube audience service. No. Seems legit, doesn't it? But it's not. It's bloody not.
It doesn't seem
I'm not clicking your broken English link.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Well, speaking about broken English, right? What the fuck's going on here? So, Yes Minister and the thick of it are flagged by the Counter-Terror Prevent scheme. Do you remember we talked about Prevent the other day?
Oh, yeah, you're right wing, aren't you? So you're fucked.
Yeah, I can't watch anything now. Nothing that I like to watch. I mean, I guess...
No, what I'm saying, John, is just for being openly right-wing, Prevent are coming for you, baby.
Yeah, probably. And then there's nothing I can watch when I'm in jail either, because it'll all be lefty shit, won't it?
You'll be able to watch them shitty BBC panel shows.
I don't watch the Big BBC.
Yeah, you're going to have to watch, like, Question of Sport, Mock the Week and all that shit. You're going to have to watch all that. That's what it's all going to be forced down your throat, John. You're going to be told this is comedy. No. Laugh, John. Laugh at it.
No. You can't coerce me into comedy. Right, here's an update. Here's an update from Anti-Lockdown Alliance, right? So, do you remember the teacher that was wearing the massive bazonkas?
Mm-hmm.
With, and you said he was a troll.
Oh, he's definitely a troll.
Oh, he is. There he is. There he is. He's definitely a troll.
Oh, yeah.
And the New York Post have eventually twigged that he is indeed a troll.
Good.
So, there you go. So you were right. You were right, Ben. It's basically I'm just
I'm
stroking your ego now.
I was going to say I'm very rarely wrong, but I think, is Nicola Bulley on the list?
I don't think she is, actually.
I think we need to talk about it because...
Right, okay, it's difficult to talk about it.
Well, we can talk about it factually what has happened to this point, right?
Well, you can say a body has been found.
A body has been found about a mile from where she fell in the river, right? The specialist dive team, now this has happened, the specialist dive team have come out and said that they scoured that area with specialist equipment, and when they did, there was no body there.
Yeah, they said that.
They've now said they said they're 100% sure there was no body there.
They've said that.
So first of all...
Hold on. If you... Right, just put yourself in the position of leader of specialist dive team, owner of specialist dive team, right?
Oh yeah, well, all I'm doing is telling you what's been said.
No, but you put yourself in that position. What are you going to say?
Well, yeah,
we searched it, but there was definitely nobody there. Now, what's going to happen if there's a coroner's report and an autopsy, and they say, well, the body's been in the water for 3 weeks, and it wasn't placed in it. It's So what's going to happen to that specialist dive team's credibility?
Well, exactly. You're exactly right, and they won't get hired. Natasha says it's a river. Bath has quite a number of peeps who end up in the river. It takes a few weeks for them to reach the western locks. Yeah, it's slow moving water, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But the point is that a body has been found, right? Mm-hmm. There has been, as far as I'm aware, there has been no formal identification at this point. The second a body had been found, Sky News dispatched Kay Burley to the site, because of course they did. I mean, if you're the family, Jesus Christ, that's what you got to deal with. Kay bloody Burley. But I don't know. I can't tell you any more than that, because they haven't said whether or not it's her. We're assuming at this point that it probably could be. So
I think your son's theory is the best.
My son's theory is that it was all the dog.
The dog did it.
You never know.
It's possible.
It's possible. But there's so much theorizing going around on Twitter, and I think the prevailing one at the moment, and I can't see any evidence to support it or not support it. But the prevailing theory on Twitter, and I'm just telling you what it is that she's been placed in there after the fact.
Well, we can tell. We'll be able to tell that.
Yeah, they will be able to tell that.
I don't think so.
Well, this body was found by 2 dog walkers.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So let's just go off in a little world of fantasy here. Just indulge me for a second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you kill someone, right? And this is hypothetical. You kill someone, right?
Yeah.
And you think, I'll dispose of the body. So you go out and you maybe dig a shallow grave, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then you think, I'm worried about where I put that body, but people are watching me just now, so I can't really do anything about it.
Right.
And then this goes on for a couple of weeks and you're getting more and more concerned and you think, I'm going to move that body. I'm going to put it somewhere where people won't find her because they've already searched it, right?
Yeah.
And then you go and put it somewhere that you think they've already searched that they'll not find, and then forget to either weigh it down or that bacterial decay will produce gas, which will eventually cause the body to come up. Colder the water, the longer it takes. Therefore, the body then surfaces and gets spotted by someone, right? That's basically the theory that you've outlined, right?
Yeah.
Who
and why?
Yeah. It's too big a stretch.
So
You know what?
Here.
You got to look at. It's like you say, Occam's razor or the KISS principle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Usually, the simplest explanation is the right one. And
Correct.
either she fell and smacked her head, or she jumped in deliberately.
In there.
Yeah.
So the cops and the police are going to give a major press conference within hours. So that's all I can say. Factually, at the moment, is that a body has been found. It has not been formally identified. It probably has at this point, but that identity has not been released.
Yeah.
Anything we say beyond that is speculation.
Speculation. Mere speculation. And we're not in the business of speculation, are we?
Well, we are.
Well, yeah, okay.
We speculate a lot and we opinionate a lot, but we can't. We couldn't. For the life of us, tell you that our mere speculation was fact. It's not in our DNA to do that.
It certainly isn't.
And so, yeah. Unfortunately, that is the situation at hand. Trudy says poor children. Trudy says some bloke posted a video on YouTube of police retrieving a body from the river. It is disgusting, right? It is disgusting, and there's no dignity in that. There was never going to be any dignity in any of this, especially after the police decided to say she has a menopausal drinking problem. Right? They destroyed any semblance of dignity. They destroyed any semblance of credibility I think they had in investigating when they did this, because they should have simply said at the very beginning she's vulnerable, but they didn't.
Yeah, that's all they had to say, I suppose. Yeah. Right, shall we move on?
We shall.
Okay.
Donald Trump truths.
Yeah, Donald Trump sent a truth out, okay? And the Constitutionalist has tweeted it out. So Biden and FEMA said they would not be sending federal aid to East Palestine, Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Trump announced he was going and announced the team would go, they changed their mind and said, "Yeah, we are sending you aid." Good. And that has happened.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, but why should it have to take an ex-president to go and visit somewhere to prompt the federal government to send aid to somewhere that obviously needs it?
Well,
because the government is not your friend and never works in your best interests. Never.
Nope. Never. They only work in their own best interests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's put a pin in that anyway.
Right, moving on.
Do that and let's move on. Kyle Becker says the Pulitzer Prize winner's suspicions must be investigated.
Yeah. So a German MP is demanding answers about Biden's role in the Nord Stream incident. This is the most serious terrorist action against our critical infrastructure since the Second World War, and I would wholeheartedly agree.
I do, yeah.
I don't think Germany had anything to do with this because it never benefited Germany at all. In fact, Germany's the one country that has the most to lose here in this whole sordid affair.
Let's go back down to Speculation Town, right?
Okay, on you go. You speculate away.
And my speculation is this, and it's very simple. Yeah, Biden did it.
Yeah, of course he did.
It's mere speculation, but I think it's...
Regardless of who actually did the placing or pushed the button or whatever, it was all done at the behest of the United States of America. Team America World Police in action.
Yeah.
There you go.
There
Team
you go.
America.
America, fuck
No.
yeah.
I got a tweet back from our well, I don't know if she's a friend yet or not, but you know, do you remember Vicky from Vicky Michelle from Allow?
Yeah.
Well, she tweeted this out, and I got a tweet back from her saying, I don't know how this is going to be a talking point on your show because I'm only talking about me fixing my hair. So this caterpillar thing here is lovely, and you know who I'm talking about, the actress, right? Mm-hmm. And I think she was she seemed to be in hospital recently, so I hope she's feeling better. I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, me too.
A good lady. And I very much admired your work in Hello, along with the rest of the cast. It was a most amusing and humorous programme that could never be shown these days, could it?
No.
Because it was actually funny.
Oh, no. Anyway, what's your point? Let's...
Well, my point is, and that I'm quite disgusted with myself here.
Why?
Because when I read that, I immediately thought, I hope that she doesn't get piled on for appropriating someone's culture.
Do you know what? I see your point. I see your point, but that's where you shouldn't be disgusted with yourself because unfortunately that's where we are. Where we are in that is where we are. When she says she's got dreads.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and all she meant was she needs to sort her hair, right?
Yeah.
But by saying it in that manner, I'm thinking, I hope she doesn't get piled on, you know?
No, I agree. And
this is a ridiculous state for society to be in when me, a far right, or slightly to the left of Genghis Khan, I would say, Vaughan, not to the right. But anyway, when I would even think of such a thing, you know, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with what she said, but my concern was that she was going to get piled on for it. And why has our society come to this? Why has it come to this?
It has come to this because of what Peter Hitchens calls the long march through the institutions.
Oh, yeah.
It has come to this because far left activists, and who first of all, they call themselves the left. They're not the left, right?
No.
If they're the left, then I don't know what I am, put it that way. But they put on suits and ties when their extremist rhetoric never worked. They marched through all of the institutions. They marched through education. They marched through the media. They marched through everything. And they took control. And that is how we've got to where we are. These are not good people. They are racists. They are sexists. They're homophobic. They're all of the ists.
I think it's fascism.
Do you know what? I can see your point. I can certainly see your point. And I mean, it's certainly authoritarianism.
Mm-hmm.
It's certainly authoritarianism. And just look at the protests. Look at the protests. I think it was Oxford.
Yeah.
Where the anti-fascists turned up to protest the people that wanted freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now let's just boil it down to, right, because there may well have been some quote-unquote far-right people or far-right groups within that crowd. But at the same time, the purpose of that protest, the stated purpose of that protest was, government, leave us alone, we want freedom. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And anti-fascists
They're not
turned up.
They're not anti anything.
Let's just try and get our heads around that. People calling themselves anti-fascist turned up to not just protest, but in some cases violently assault people who want freedom.
And appear to have the protection of the police.
Well, they always do.
Yeah.
They always do.
The whole thing's crazy. Crazy, mate. Crazy. Anyway, let's move on. We'll be here all day at this rate.
Right, Honourable Grants, there's nothing honourable about you fucking Grants.
There's nothing honourable at this guy at all. This guy's actually, I would say, an idiot. And I don't use that term loosely. And this is not an ad hominem attack. I think the guy is actually mentally deficient. To come out with the things that he's said recently, especially in support of net zero, which is nothing but a race to the bottom.
Race to the bottom.
That's all it is. You're never gonna make a difference. You won't make a difference to climate change, right? Because we don't produce enough to make a difference to anything, right?
Nope.
The human race likely doesn't produce enough of anything to make a difference to anything.
Nope.
So the whole thing's ridiculous. And then you fail to read the room and basically suck up the arse of Bill Gates.
I'm just, you know what? And we can go to the next slide as well.
Yeah.
And that's from Taylor Swift, right?
Oh,
because that's what these people are doing. It doesn't matter their party. They're all looking for this photo opportunity with Bill Gates.
Yeah, I know.
And it doesn't make any sense, right? This man toured the world during an alleged global pandemic, claiming he had the medical solutions with no medical training. And he was on every news channel. He was on the BBC. He was on the American news channels. He was flying everywhere, all over the world, where you weren't allowed to even go out. Right?
Yeah, and he never got banned.
Of course he
never
didn't.
got censored. He never get pulled up for not being an expert.
And he wasn't, and he isn't. And he isn't an expert on net zero.
The guy's a college dropout. That's what he is.
He's a con artist. And I'm sorry, that's my personal opinion.
He is.
Right?
Yeah.
And
a thief.
Let's move on, right? Because I'll go into him. I don't really want to, because I don't want to get sued.
Right. So this is we touched on this on Friday night. This is Greg Price. Mm-hmm. So that's Secretary Buttigieg.
That's Pete Buttigieg.
Buttigieg, right?
Buttigieg.
So he said that while this is a horrible situation, right, has got a lot of attention, there are roughly 1,000 cases a year of train derailing, and that bails out what we said, because we said there's 12,000 train incidents, stroke accidents every year in the United States, and if you got 1,000 a year, right, derailments, the chances of one of them being a chemical train is going to be high.
Well, you're absolutely,
because most of your rail traffic in the States is freight.
You're absolutely, and unfortunately for people who want to find some kind of conspiracy, he's absolutely right. You're absolutely right, John. And all we try and do, right? There may well be something behind this. I don't know, but all we try and do is bring people down to a sense of reality. And with 12,000 derailments a year, you're right. One of these, or several of these, are more than likely going to be chemical trains.
Yeah.
Because once again, we talk about, and we spoke about on Friday night, the rail system in the United States is heavily lent towards freight, right? Here in the United Kingdom, it's mostly passenger travel. But over in the United States, it's mostly freight. And so you're going to see freight trains derail, and that freight could be anything up to and including chemicals. So whilst, like you said, and like Pete here says, and I hate to agree with Pete Buttigieg, but he is right. Whilst this is a very high attention based upon this, there are several others, and there always will be, unfortunately, because that is just the way things are. Nothing's perfect. I'm sorry if people are disappointed in me saying this or us saying this, but all you've got to do is look at the reality and put it into perspective.
That's true.
Moving on. The next slide, I want to preface it with, I don't know if it's real or if it's faked or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. If it's real, you've got to question the mentality of someone who would do such a thing, right?
Well, first of all,
mm-hmm.
The way this looks, and you could maybe say that, oh, this is being repossessed, yeah?
No, it's not being repossessed. It's been moved for illegal parking. That's a council lorry.
has it been moved for illegal parking, or has it been moved because it's broken?
I would say that is not a regular breakdown truck. That's one of the ones they use for moving. That's the kind of truck that they use for moving illegal parking. I'm not quite sure what LAR stands for, but I would imagine that looks to me, especially with the checkered band on it and the type of HIAB type system that they're using, that looks to me like the type of thing that removes illegally parked vehicles.
Okay, but like I said, the problem is quite funny.
It's funny, right? But it's also quite shocking.
Yeah, but my issue is simply context. And first of all, is this a Photoshop picture? Second of all,
I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I did preface it with I don't know if it's real or not. But if it did happen, right, and maybe someone knows if it did. Maybe Jerry Page actually knows if it's real or not, right?
Yeah.
If it did happen, I'd like to know what the actual outcome was, because there are guys standing there with a coffin on their shoulder.
Right, let's move on, shall we?
Yeah, let's
okay, we are moving into the funny section
the actual
of the
funnies.
show. The actual funnies. Ladies and gentlemen, Meghan Markle wears gloves the right way. Who told Kate that was a good look?
Now, I had to reply to this because, and I think Trudy's already seen what I said about this, but I think Kate's actually offering herself way more protection when it comes to retrieving the peg.
You know what? I absolutely agree, John. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I couldn't say anything better than you. But I will say this, they both look stupid.
Yeah, they do.
They both look stupid. I'm sorry, just put on a shirt, put on some trousers.
They do look stupid. Well, maybe they were going to an event or something. I don't know.
Well, Kate here is obviously at the BAFTAs.
Right? Okay.
And Meghan, I believe, might be at the funeral.
She certainly would be at the BAFTAs. Oh, apparently Harry and Meghan are coming to the coronation.
I thought they were banned.
No, apparently they're coming.
Maybe
the old Charlie boys trying to make what would you call it? Settle their differences or whatever.
Maybe. You're very welcome, Natasha. Natasha says they both look awful. Thank you for saying it. You're very. You know us. We're not gonna put any spin on it here. We won't give you any shit. They look awful. They both look awful.
I'm not quite sure about this, right? Okay. So this is apparently the big thing. British Airways flight, first time, all black crew. Right?
Right.
And the guy's got a point. Nathan's got a point. What if someone had said all white crew? Right? Good point. That would be probably racism, and we'd all be on. And it's like you said earlier on in this show, they keep making it all about skin colour, not about a person's capabilities and equality to be an effective employee, whatever. And you're 100% right. 100% right, Nathan. But my point is, forgetting all that and just looking at the first guy at the bottom of the stairs. The guy's arms are whiter than mine.
Once again,
how is he a black guy?
But still, put that aside, right? Because what I want to know is
I want to know why the white guy at the bottom of the stairs is called a black guy. I zoomed in on the photograph. The guy's white. He looks like he's got a suntan, but he's white.
What I want to know is why this is something to be celebrated.
Well, it isn't. It's only to be celebrated.
It's racism.
It's only to be celebrated if you're guilty of racism. Yeah.
Let's just reframe what this actually says. Let's read between the lines. What this actually says is, a whites not included British Airways flight is flying for the first time, and we've purposely excluded white people.
Well, as far as the crew goes, yeah, probably, yeah.
So, but they've made this. They've taken this picture.
Mm-hmm.
They've said whites not allowed. Look at this. Celebrate this. No whites.
I know.
No Asians. No, this is racism. And yet we've got to a point in society. I don't know why this is in the funnies, because this isn't funny, right? This isn't funny at all. Because we've got to a point in society where they say, we're going to denigrate you based upon your skin colour.
Yeah. No, we know this. I mean, you're just actually repeating what you said.
I'm sorry, but also, I bet they use in that article. I bet you see the term diversity. How is that diverse?
Oh, I wish I never brought it up. Oh, jeez. Right. Anyway, moving on. This is actually a video on the New York Post site. I watched it. It was quite funny. Okay.
Right.
So this street vendor here, who I am assuming they are saying is off colour, right? So,
right.
Women caught on camera harassing a California street vendor, grabbed my bacon. Now, I thought, initially, this is a euphemism, isn't it? Somebody's grabbed them by the sausage.
Well, I'll tell you.
Go on, what?
I was going to say, I'll tell you this, I've actually used that euphemism once, right?
Right, no.
And as a euphemism, and I'll tell you why. Because I was at a very popular tourist location in Europe, I won't name it, right? And one of the staff, who was dressed up as a female superhero,
grabbed your bacon.
It wasn't an accident.
Right. Now, these girls are obviously on the sauce, right? And they've come for a hot dog, right? And they're mucking about. And one of them grabs a bit of bacon and eats it. You can see her eating it, right?
Yeah, I can see it, yeah.
Yeah. So she did. She literally grabbed a bit of bacon off the thing in front of it and ate it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, the comments. It's like, why are you filming this and not stepping in and stopping this happening? This is terrible. I mean, it's unbelievable. This must happen to this guy all the time, surely. Right? I mean, what the fuck has the world come to when three girls on the sauce can't have a bit of a laugh when they're getting a hot dog? Jesus Christ.
They're paying him money, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and he would just, if it was him, I'd just go, an extra $1 for the bacon.
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable. But the comments, man, are ridiculous.
How is this news?
Well, it's not. But the thing is, it is news, because this is another example of how they're trying to take society down. They're trying to make, and it's because they're white.
Look,
in my view, it's because they're white.
It's TikTok, right?
You know what TikTok is? It is evil.
No, yeah, but the reason TikTok exists and things like this, news stories like this exist, is to dumb you down, right?
Yeah.
Oh, look
but
at
also
dopamine hit.
Yeah, and also to go against white people. I think that's purely. I think it's a racist story.
Let's move on. A lot of racism these days, isn't there, John?
Yeah, I think there is.
And people that look like us are the butt of it.
Yeah, and I think this sums up us and most of our audience pretty well. What doesn't kill you gives you a lot of unhealthy coping mechanisms and a sick sense of humour. I'd agree with that. I like that one. So Cherub Rock gets us the gold star for that one.
Gold star.
Gold star.
Do you know what? I've got some pretty unhealthy coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
And a very
well, speaking of unhealthy coping mechanisms, someone tweeted this and I had to include it. It's like, no one ever told me what a wet owl looks like. Oh my God. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself, people. No owls were harmed. What?
I want one.
Nobody. Prepare yourself, right? Because no arms were harmed in the making of this picture. Look at the state of that. Yeah, and I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put up a screen a tweet here from Bobby Bollocks, right? and I like Bobby Bollocks, as I kind of view him as Twitter's version of Benny Hill. I really do. I appreciate most of his tweets, and this one in particular is understated, but what was she thinking? Did she not get anyone to have a look at what she was wearing? Oh. That is a good one, isn't it? And I'm sorry if you're listening to this on the podcast, I'm not going to describe it, but dip into the slides and have a quick look.
Penis.
Right, there you go.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, was indeed the news for today. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you have subscribed, even if you're not subscribed and you're watching back. Or you're listening on the podcast. You better be downloading this fucker every single time it comes up. Because if you are not, we will send the boys round.
We will.
And believe me, I'm going to get the boys on the phone during the next show. The boys, we're going to get them on the phone.
Yeah,
right?
Get the boys on the phone.
We're gonna have a little word with the boys, right? And the boys can have a little word with you. So thank you, one and all. Of course, I hope you have enjoyed it once again. If not, then tough. You've just wasted over an hour of your life. But if you have, then please consider helping us grow, helping us become bigger, helping us become one location and a studio and some staff and stuff like that. We'd love to do that by donating, becoming a patron at patreon.com/Chasing Dissent, or indeed monthly via Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/Chasing Dissent. We would like this to be our source of income. We'd like to do this forever. I'd like to live stream John's funeral, those sorts of things.
Yeah,
I plan to live longer than you, John.
Yeah, and how's that working out for you?
Not very well. Not very well.
That, I'd like to thank you one and all for attending this Chasing Dissent Lives episode 200 with me, John, and Ben. It's been great for you.
Thank you.
Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.